What's up? I guess this is a tutorial for how to speedrun Dark Arena. I get asked about it sometimes, so I'll go ahead and show off all the tricks and how you actually do them. First things first, I'm actually going to use a cheat code for demo purposes. Don't actually do this during the run, but I just want infinite health. Oh, whoops. It's SXN. And then for difficulty, it doesn't actually matter, but on hard, you have a higher % chance of randomly dying, so I do all my runs on easy. There's functionally no difference.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
So right off the bat, we have a trick we're going to do. At the start of this level, don't change your angle, just hit forward. You have to tap left so you go around this wall a little bit, but as you're walking past it, rub up against it. And then this will actually put you in the perfect position to get kind of stuck against this wall, like this. You can see I'm holding forward, I'm holding backwards, I'm completely stuck. As it turns out, if we look at this on the map, that's the corner, you can see me, I'm the arrow. Any corner that looks like that, more or less, you can just walk right through, as if it weren't there. This one's a little different, but it's basically the same. We'll be doing this a couple times. When you see a corner like that, you run at it, then you want your angle to be slightly off of parallel with the wall. And when you have it, then you can just continue to walk forward, and you'll see I'm now getting very close to the wall, weirdly. I'll actually have to do this backwards, but we can now walk right through the wall as if it weren't even there. I'll show the whole thing off, because that was a little weird. What the whole trick looks like, if you do it quickly, is you rub against the wall, you hit the corner. You shouldn't have to do that backwards. I'm going to do this again because I want to show it correctly. But sometimes, if your angle's not steep enough, then you'll have to do a little correction like that. There we go. So you can see, if your angle's good, you can just walk right through as if the wall weren't even there. And that applies to, like I said, pretty much any corner that's like about, I don't know, say 30 degrees or so. So we'll do that a couple times during the run. Then from there, you should just be able to look at a map and see where the exit is and go there. In this case, it's just like around the room that's right in front of you.
Oh yeah.
Level 2 has a couple different things you can do to try to beat it fast. I'll show all of them. So the easiest way is at the start of the level, you just hold forward and left strafe. And then when I hit this corner, you get kind of stuck on it. And if I just keep holding forward and left strafe, then you get weirdly close to the wall. And then there you go, we're through it. The end of the level is off in that direction. That's a little bit slow, though. You'll usually finish the level in like 24 seconds if you do that clip. So the faster one that I use in runs is to come over here and to use this ledge. So what we do is we want to just barely drop off the ledge in this corner, and I did that correctly. So now the ledge that we just dropped off of pushed us through the sidewall that made up the corner, and we're now out of bounds again. If you haven't noticed yet, there's kind of a recurring theme with clipping out of bounds in this game, where generally you're looking to get too close to a wall, and there are a bunch of different ways to do that. There's also a trick that's even faster for finishing this level, but for all intents and purposes, it's pass only for now, and that is to do something like level 1, but with this corner right here. We'll see if I can even do this. Let's see why this is TAS only. It's really obnoxious. Oh, almost. There we go. And then once we're out of bounds, we can come over here to the teleporter. There are a lot of levels that have a couple different ways. I'll show like every strat that you could ever want to know for finishing each level, just so that all the info is out there. So for this one, there are 2 clips. I don't do this one in runs because it's a pain in the ass and usually slower. But if you drop off of this corner, nope, there we go. Then we can clip through that corner and then walk over here. If that trick doesn't go literally perfect, then you won't save time doing it. So don't bother, to be honest. And then we're going to do that again, but this one's easier using this corner. So we drop off the ledge, we're too close to this wall. And then in this situation, I'm actually not fully out of bounds yet. So when you see a situation like this, I'm too close to this wall and I'm in a corner. So the way you clip from here is to make it so that you can't see the wall that you want to clip through on screen. Then you tap left strafe, right strafe. Like strafe away from the wall and then strafe into the wall. So there's the wall we're trying to clip through. Get an angle about here, and then left, right, and then there we go, we're out of bounds. And the end of the level is just through here. Dude, this game's easy, Imo. You just gotta learn the levels.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
It's an easy video game. Level 4, couple things we could do here. The easy way that I recommend for starters is to just come over to this door, and you want to position yourself to be too close to this door frame, which would be this dark gray line, so that when the door comes down, I'm too close to the door. And then I just do the same thing that I did in the last level on the corner, but backwards. So we want to clip through that wall. So we look away from the wall, and then we tap right, left, and then we're through, and the end of the level is in that direction. The actual fast strat, though, is to get the angle on this corner, and then to walk through the wall, like, come on. Like that. Okay, there we go. That's the actual fast strat. There is no setup for that. Well, there is a setup, and I'll show it, but if you use the setup, then you're losing time, so you just have to run at the corner and pray that your angle's good. What the setup is if I inch up on this corner a little bit, until you can just barely see the wall I'm trying to walk through. I'm sure the screen flashing red is very distracting, but just bear with me. You can see that you can see the wall that I'm trying to walk through, that I'm basically parallel with. And then I turn so that the top of my gun is about halfway through that, and then we hold forward, and that's the correct angle. So I stopped because, as you can see, I'm at the end of the wall, but I'm not through it yet. So in a case like this, and for most cases in the game, you actually have to do this backwards as well. So you're just, again, looking for a slightly off of parallel angle that is into the wall when you do that. And then, either way, you clip out of bounds in pretty much the exact same spot, and the end of the level is just right in front of you a little bit.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
This is the first boss. If you keep dying during this clip, then you can kill the boss, and it's only like 2 seconds slower. But the boss skip is to run up on the side of these stairs, and because of the way the stairs work in the game, there's absolutely nothing stopping us from just running up way too close to the side of these stairs. And then, as usual, we're in a corner, we're trying to clip through that back wall, so we look away from it, tap right, left, and then there we go, we're on the other side of this door, which is supposed to be locked. That's a simple one, but the boss will kill you like half the time you try to do it. That level can be a little bit annoying and random.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
This is the other level that you'll try to get killed in while you're doing it. Shoot this red guy as you run past him, because it'll give you more freedom. It'll give you a little bit more time. I'm actually going to kill him, because this is going to take a while to explain. But this is a new type of trick that, for some reason, isn't in the first half of the run, but it's like everywhere in the second half. So if you see a corner like this, I'm gonna kill this guy as well. If you see a corner like this, where you have a wall and then you have a short wall, like this is a short wall, there's not a lot there, and this is not a short wall. Then when I walk into this corner, sometimes I'll get pushed out of it like that. I didn't do anything, but the game just ejected me from the corner. Whenever you see a corner that ejects you like that, there's a pretty good chance that you can clip through it if you just have the right angle. So the angle for this one and I'll do this with a cue from the pistol, if I can get back to it, is first of all, you gotta get into the corner so that it doesn't eject you like this. And then in this case, the angle that I'm looking for is to be about on the right side of this last column of dark blue pixels, like right here-ish. This might be a bit far to the right. And then we just tap right strafe. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, this should work. So we tap right strafe. No. There we go. And then it puts you right through. Easy. So from there, we just gotta squeeze between these two rooms and make it to the end of the level over here. Yo, what's up, Tupac? I'm recording a tutorial. People gonna learn how to play Dark Arena today.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
So level 7, this, in my opinion, has the hardest trick that I actually do in the run right now. So I'll show off the easier way first. The easier way is to come over here. You get by this door, open the door, get too close to the door frame. That was a bit too close. The door closes, we tap left strafe, and then we hold forward. And that puts us right through. And then the end of the level is just off in that direction. The faster thing, and the extremely hard thing, is to do the shallow angle clip on this wall right here, which is incredibly short, and you also have basically no ability to tell whether or not it's working. Ooh, this is actually going to work really fast. Nice. Okay, so there you go. That made it look a lot easier than it actually is. The angle and position required for that one is really obnoxious. And to make matters worse, there's actually... This wall is just so short that you're going to have to correct your angle like 3 times in the middle of the clip at least. It's just terrible. But this is the fastest way if you're looking for it. If you're just learning the run, though, I highly recommend you use the door off to the left. It's a whole lot easier and won't end all of your runs. Right now, I can't get it again. There we go. Okay, there we go. And the end of the level is back there behind those red guys. You have to get sub 15 to pass. Yeah, exactly. Now we're going to do a whole bunch of those short wall corner clips. The angle for this one, if I can get in there, is the last column of green pixels, and you want the thing that sticks out the top of your pistol to be on the right side of that column. So right about here, tap right strafe, and then gotta be a little careful. You have a really tight space you're trying to squeeze through there. But we can get around the door and go right to the end.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
In level 9, we're going to clip from right here. This one doesn't really have a setup because the wall is just one color. But if you look about halfway down the center of the wall, like about here, then it should work. This one's pretty lenient. You just tap left strafe, and there we go. Easy. And you sneak through there and kind of hook around to the end of the level back here.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
This one is extremely lenient. We get into this corner, and if you see these 2 diagonal dark gray or dark green pixels, we're looking at the right one, which is lower, and then we just tap left strafe, and then we turn, we right strafe, and we're through the wall. There are other random little clips you can do here that don't matter. Like, we can use these button podiums to skip the doors instead of opening them, but it doesn't matter. Alright, so this one's kind of complicated. This one's a little different, how we're going to get too close to the wall. So don't turn at the start of the level, just strafe into the wall and go forward. When you get here, so that you can't move forward anymore, you tap left strafe, you look to the left a little bit, and then you hold back. And after holding back until about here-ish, like right when you're about to go through the wall, then you need to adjust your angle, and then go forward. You'll hit this back pillar if you go too far back, and that'll clip you back in bounds. If you clip back in bounds and you don't have the angle anymore, you can still do this pretty easily. It's just easier if you start with a straight angle. Like here, there's actually an alternate method. If you can get into this position, then if you just start alternating down, right strafe, then you can kind of inch into the corner. That's actually the old strat, but it's pretty slow. So ideally, you just do that, what I just did, and then the end of the level is over here. And be careful not to clip back in bounds, because it's pretty easy to do that on that level.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
So the easy way to do this, there's an easy way and a hard way for this one for sure. The easy way is just run over there, hit that button, and then go through the teleporter, and it puts you back here, and this door is unlocked. But if you want to try and save a couple seconds and clip through the door, what you got to do is run at this, and then once you run at this, it'll try to eject you from the corner sometimes, maybe it won't. And then once you're about here, you hold forward and you tap right strafe. And you just tap right strafe a little bit, fiddle with your angle, and eventually you'll get that. And when you see this gray, that means you're inside the door, and you can now clip through the door like that. If you try to get a setup with this, or you take more than 1 or 2 tries to clip through the door, then it's not faster. So I recommend you just go unlock the door, but if you want to, you can try to clip through the door, and it'll save you like 2 seconds. There's another tricky strat you can do, and this is TAS only. Now that I'm inside the door, we can actually bypass the second clip and go right to the end of the level, but it's really difficult, so I'm going to try to do it. You can see there's not much of a visual cue for this, but we get about here, and we do that. Perfect. So that's sort of a variant on something. That's sort of a variant on just your general object push, which I'll show it off later, but you don't do any of them in the actual speedrun. And the way that works is just you get into that corner, you get the angle, then you tap down, then you quickly tap up, and it'll like sort of use the corner that is behind you to push you through the wall that's in front of you. That's TAS only though. Do not attempt to do that in a run. It'll never work. My explanation for that was kind of bad, but moral of the story is don't try that. It almost never works. So once we're through here, the normal strat for finishing the level is to use these bombs in this box. So we want to, first of all, try to get sort of between the bomb and the wall. And we're just holding forward to try to get ourselves in there. What we're looking for is for this gap between the box and the bomb to be really wide. So I don't know if this is wide enough, so we're going to look over here. I like to look at the third pixel on the wall and then hold right. And that will usually widen the gap a fair bit. Now we can look over here. Gap is actually not wider, but we'll just try this. If the gap is wide enough, then you can tap right strafe. That puts you behind the box. Then you hold down, and it'll put you through the wall behind you, and the exit is just to your left. You actually sometimes can skip the step where you look at the wall and try to make the gap wider if the gap is wide enough on its own. But that's something you just kind of have to get a feel for. So, yo, what's up, Lucario? Sorry I didn't respond. I'm recording a hot tutorial, sort of.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
Alright, at the start of this level, do not change your angle. Just hold left strafe and forward. Of course, you can let go of left strafe once you run into the wall. And you want to get up on this first step. Once you're up on the first step, you turn around, you point the top pointy thing on your gun at the corner, and then you just hold forward. And it turns out that that's the perfect position and angle for clipping through that wall, and we can just go right to the end here.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
This one's weird. This is a weird one. So, first of all, we go into this bathroom. And we're gonna use this toilet to clip. So we hop up on top of the toilet, and then we fall off the left side. So now we're between the toilet and this wall. And from here, we want to look at the first column of red pixels after these two columns of gray pixels. So about here-ish. Then we tab down, left, right, and then we're through that wall. I'm gonna move around a little bit to see if I can get my bearings. Okay, perfect. So there's the bathroom. So there's something I haven't explained in this game yet, and that is that even though we're out of bounds, we're still technically in bounds. Imagine that there's a giant box drawn around every level that's in the game, around just the farthest extremities in each direction of the level. So in this level, for example, imagine that the bottom bounds of the level are under this J-shaped hallway, because that's the southernmost point of the level. If we go outside that box, then the game will instantly crash. There are sort of ways around it, but not really. You just can't go outside the box. So the end of the level is that, and we need to get from our current position, which is there, around this, and then up there. But the problem is the leeway we have between the box, the southern box, and that room is really small. It's a lot smaller than it looks, actually. And we also have no cue. Where once we start moving towards that room, we're going to have zero visual cue. So the only way to actually tell whether or not this is going to work is to time it, or to just get good muscle memory down. So the cue that I sort of go with, or the timing that I have, is to hold left strafe until you can't see the bathroom in front of you anymore. Then to start holding forward. Then you count to 3. Then on 3, you let go of left strafe, and you're just holding forward, and that should get you by the door. So I'll demo it here. So we hold left strafe. 1, 2, 3, let go of left strafe, and then there we go. There's the room. And then from here, we just try to stay to the right a little bit, and we go around this room with the blue carpet. If you're feeling ballsy, you can try to do another clip here on this corner, and this will save you an elevator ride. The exit's over there. Or you could just stand on this elevator and ride it down. That's also an option. It might be only like a second slower to do that. That level is going to take you a bit of practice.
Oh yeah.
This is the last level in the game. The only thing we need to pick up is this weapon that I just picked up. I'll switch to it because I have all weapons by default because of a cheat code. But you pick up this thing, and you pick up the ammo for it. You should have, I think, either 125 or 150 ammo for this thing picked up. And once you've got that, we're gonna come over to this pillar. And this pillar is pretty inconsistent, but what you're looking for is sort of have the flat part on top of this gun a little bit to the left of that gray vertical thing on the pillar. And you'll see that when I tap forward, everything kind of jiggles around. So what you do for this clip is you tap forward, and while everything is jiggling, you tap right strafe and then left. And hopefully, like that, it'll put you through the wall. And we can kind of sneak around this room. And the final boss is right in there with the lemon yellow carpet. Don't run into that room, though. Once you get about here, start inching up a little bit. Because there's a fast way to kill the boss. This looks pretty good. So right here, the boss hasn't noticed me yet. He's just chilling back there. And I can start shooting him from here, and he won't respond. But he is taking damage. So if you do this, then hopefully you'll have 100% accuracy, and you'll kill the boss really quickly. The other side effect of doing this is that he has lower health for some reason. This applies to all difficulties. He'll have lower health, he'll die in the same amount of shots every time. Whereas if you try to fight him once he's noticed you, his health will actually depend on what difficulty you're playing on. But anyway, if we just keep shooting him like this, you should have plenty of ammo to finish him off in a couple of seconds. Like that. And then time stops now when you see the level complete. So anyway, that's the whole game. Hopefully I explained pretty much everything that you need to know about the game. The only thing that I didn't mention, and maybe I'll try to show it off after the credits, is there's another technique for clipping out of bounds that I didn't show, because it's way the hell too slow. But basically, any convex corner that's close to 180 degrees, like it's almost a straight wall, but there's a bit of a bend in it. If you just run at a corner like that for long enough, then it'll actually put you through. It's a really well-programmed game. So a clip like that can take up to like a minute and a half to work. It's really obnoxious. So nothing like that is in the route anymore, but it's just something you should probably be aware of. Also, if there are flat 2D objects spread throughout the level, like little, I don't even know what, trash can looking things, there's little candle looking things, and those are close to a wall, then you can use those to actually push you through the wall. I don't do that anywhere in the run, but someday in the future there may be a clip involving that. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. You know, it'd be super cool to have people run the game. And yeah, thanks for watching the tutorial.